We've got another movie from the Wizarding World franchise in 2022, the third installment of Fantastic Beasts. Let's talk about the Secrets of Dumbledore. Hey guys, Dan here. This is Dan Reviews It. Welcome to my spoiler-free review for the latest in the Fantastic Beasts series, part of the Harry Potter Wizarding World. This is the Secrets of Dumbledore. Before we launch into my review, though, I do want to welcome you in to Dan Reviews It. Thank you for finding this video. If you stay till the end, you'll see my grade, as well as a couple of links to other videos on my channel you might be interested in. Let's get into this movie. So, this has had quite a long journey to the big screen. Let's set aside for a second that it was pushed back a couple of years because of COVID. It was originally supposed to be released in late 2020. So that happened, of course. But also, Johnny Depp was fired after shooting one scene as Grindelwald, reprising his role from the second movie, because at that point in time, the Amber Heard stuff was just sort of coming to a boil, and Disney had already kind of parted ways with him, and Warner Brothers said the same. They said, you know what, we can't be in the Johnny Depp business right now. You know, the trial was years off, but he had enough, bad press surrounding him that they decided to part ways. So Mads Mikkelsen stepping in for Johnny Depp in this film. And then, to top it all off, in the last couple of years, J.K. Rowling has been in the news, of course, for her controversial stance on trans rights and some other things. And she co-wrote the screenplay for this. And this is, of course, all the Harry Potter stuff is all part of the J.K. Rowling world. So a lot of backstory going into kind of the making of this movie and the reception of it. But putting all that aside, I'm not going to base my grade on any of that sort of stuff. Although it's hard not to compare Mads Mikkelsen to Johnny Depp as Grindelwald. Two very different performances, I feel. But, in terms of the J.K. Rowling stuff, I'm going to take this piece of art as it is and not sort of base it around my feelings on her. But regardless, I'm not a fan of this series. The Harry Potter stuff was great. I'm not a fanatic, certainly, like some people are, but I've seen a couple of the movies multiple times, and they're sort of a mainstay whenever I go over to my brother and sister-in-law's place. She's always watching it because they're on either USA or one of the channels, TNT, Spike. It's always on something all weekend long. There's always a Harry Potter marathon. So I've seen bits and pieces of many of the movies multiple times. But all the way through, I think I've only seen most of them once. And the Fantastic Beasts series, I think, is a huge step down from all of that. I think the highest grade I've ever given for a Fantastic Beasts movie is maybe a B-. For the second one, which in retrospect, I don't even really remember anything about, so it probably wasn't all that good. And then the first one I fell asleep during, so that didn't really strike me. This one, I'll be honest, it's a lot more of the same. As a general plot here for this particular movie, you've got, good old Grindelwald, like I said, played this time around by Mads Mikkelsen, who gives, I think, a different interpretation of the role than Johnny Depp did. I would say of the two, I probably like Mikkelsen's better, but I feel like part of that is because I know him best as Hannibal Lecter from the TV series, and so he's already got this sort of really creepy aura and vibe around him. So that may have informed my opinion there. But he's basically wanting control of the Wizarding World, and so Dumbledore needs to try and stop him, played by Jude Law in the Fantastic Beasts films. These take place way before the Harry Potter stuff, so this is a younger version of Dumbledore, if you don't know. He is unable to stop Grindelwald alone, and he knows this, so he enlists some of his buddies. Newt Scamander, once again played by Eddie Redmayne, who leads a team of wizards, witches, and one brave muggle, played by Dan Fogler. My favorite part of these movies, to be completely honest, is the old Dan Fogler storyline and character. And I'm sort of like lukewarm on him. He's done things that I thought were irritating. He's done things I thought were funny. But I think he's kind of the best part of any of these Fantastic Beasts movies. And my least favorite part is Eddie Redmayne. I am not a fan. I think all of his characters are annoying and, shrill and whiny, and Stephen Hawking was the only one I could really get behind. And to be honest, he didn't really talk very much, because pretty early on in the movie he gets his disease and then spends the rest of the movie in a wheelchair with his voice encoder. So. Or maybe he didn't. I don't know. Maybe he did talk most of the movie. I can't remember now. But anyway, that was the only movie that Redmayne was in that I really sort of liked his performance and liked his character. Everything else, especially this Newt Scamander character, I just don't care for. So, okay, maybe that plays in a little bit as well. But this movie is 2.5 hours, and just not much happens. You could easily cut 40 minutes from this movie, and I don't think you'd miss anything. And yes, there are some cool effects. There's some cool magic stuff that happens. I won't deny that, like the other Fantastic Beasts movies. But there's also this sort of thread of, like, I didn't really care about anything that was going on. I do like some of the performances here. I think, again, Mads Mikkelsen does a good job as Grindelwald, but Jude Law is fine as Dumbledore. I've certainly seen him give better performances, but if you gave me a side story about Dan Fogler and his character and his girlfriend, like, I would be all in on that, because I think that's sort of the mirth of this. They really try to force a lot of, like, comedy and mirth with some of these other characters. Like, Newt Scamander does this, like, crab move thing where he's, like, leading the crabs, and I just was so annoyed. It's so irritating. And I actually watched this in 3 different chunks, because I knew from my feelings about the first 2 Fantastic Beasts movies that I did not want to sit through, just 2.5 hours straight of this movie. But luckily I work in a movie theater, so after hours, 3 different nights, I would put it on for like 45 minutes, an hour. But I would backtrack at like 10 minutes and see some of the things again to kind of remind myself, okay, where am I in the storyline? What's been going on? And, some of the stuff with Newt Scamander I had to see twice, and it was irritating both times. This movie, to me, is a whole lot of nothing. Yes, there are some very cool effects. There always are with these kind of movies, and some of the performances I liked. But the fact that there's supposed to be 2 more in this franchise, we've got to sit through 5 of these movies. This is just the middle one. I don't see this getting any better. I say cut your losses, sort of end the thing here, and then move on to something else. We loved all of those Harry Potter characters from that world, the, original 8 Harry Potter films, and of course the books that preceded them. But without, those kids, without a lot of the stuff that we already know about Hogwarts, this is 100 years ago or something, or 80 years ago, before Harry existed. So it's a lot of stuff that, okay, we're learning maybe the backstory, but I'm not a Potter enough fan to care, to be completely honest. So for me, this is another not great entry in the franchise. I will give it, a little bit for the effects and some of the cool magic stuff. And I do like, the Dan Fogler stuff. I enjoyed watching his scenes. So I'm going to leave Fantastic Beasts: The Secrets of Dumbledore with a C-. Worst of the 3 for me, but they're all sort of in that range. If I were to regrade the second one, it's probably a C or a C+ as well, and the first one is about in that range too. So, yeah, it's the worst of the franchise, but really they're all kind of very, very average at best, these movies. So, all right, that will do it. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see everybody next time. Bye.